Then just are we going to just go straight back, report, and then go take care of everything with Fortune and our other delivery? Or are we going to do the other delivery and Fortune stuff first, and then talk to the others?
I think we should deliver our maybe Oscar like looks around to you guys, and he like can't find the like appropriately vague word, and he says that we should probably get that to her sooner than later.
Right, but didn't we want to see if we can get West Wind to cover our expenses for our side trip?
That was my idea. Was that
right?
If
so like the deal is like, yeah.
If we don't tell Natalia that we're done here, and we have to say, "Oh, we had to go do the side mission to keep our cover. Thanks for covering for all our time," and then drop off all the information at last, she'll think we've been working for her the whole time, and she's covering with us to West Wind for right now. So.
Right,
I would be down.
That's the point that Boomer's trying to make.
Sure.
So we're gonna go make this this delivery first, and possibly take care of something else.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that is a smart plan. Then
let's get out of here.
Cool. So the all clear has been given, right? And you guys still own a taxi, so that's good. In fact. Probably as you guys are repacking, because you did pack and then unpack your weapons and then repack. You guys collect all your stuff and you head downstairs, and you can hear there's like apparently like a street sweeper-esque truck that's outside, like driving down the street. And if you poke your head out, because you notice the boards are being like taken down by the hotel workers. You look out, it is literally just like you'll see. It has like this crane arm on the back, and there's this furnace trailer, and the furnace is like billowing like this black smoke out of the top of it, and ostensibly what this thing is doing, and you could probably gather this for yourselves, but it's picking stuff up, putting it in a furnace, and burning, incinerating whatever it's putting in the furnace.
Nice.
So body sweeper.
Sure, I didn't say it.
Efficient. That's what I call it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think there's also that weird, sort of similar to the instance where you guys had there was that vaccine thing and all the people kind of went back to business. You see, like, there's people that are like returning back to their homes, right? Like, there's a little bit more of emotional impact though. Like, there are some people who are like, like hugging on the streets. Maybe they were separated during the time of evacuation, and there's some children like crying or being ushered in, and there's some women, and it's generally a little bit more somber atmosphere than it was just back to business, but things are returning to normal, which for the group of you, having probably never seen something quite like this before because the universe is large and weird, that may seem fucking weird, right? Like, people, do you not understand that there was literally just, like, a bunch of mutated humanoid creatures trying to eat you all? But they all seem, they're all just happy to be alive, instead of the reverse of being more frightened for their lives.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to be the impression that what's her name, Chang, had given us. Like, right. This is just what they deal with.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's clearly not like an everyday thing, but yeah, you guys happen to be there during a time where it was, surprisingly.
So what are the odds?
What a coincidence.
Actually, the odds are pretty far. It's actually a scheduled event.
Things that I can't know as a character that you give me as player is very frustrating, Jordan.
I know.
So how do I react to this without reacting to it? God damn it.
Exactly. It's okay, you're a good player. You'll figure it out. Cool. So, the deal is, you guys are going to jump in the taxi and drive it over to the spaceport and take off.
We'll probably go find Wong because we need to give him back his taxi.
Yeah,
see if he's alive.
So that's the other thing.
The last time we tried to give him his taxi, shit went down.
So I think that Oscar, you probably realize now that your comms have been they were a little bit sketchy during the storm for obvious reasons, or maybe you just weren't checking them. But I think that
maybe not for obvious reasons.
Right. If you look down, you probably have 5 new messages from Wong. They just start coming in. If you've ever been in a place where you get no signal, and then all of a sudden you go into a place that you do get signal, all of a sudden you just get all those rapid messages.
My contact's blown up.
Yeah.
You're blowing up, yeah.
And they're all from Wong. And pretty much he says...
Are any of them coherent?
Yeah. But they're all in caps. Just every single one of them is in caps. And one of them is "Did you get my last message? ? Hey, I'm trying to talk to you! ! And the other one is oh, well, I hope you made it! ... And the fourth one is probably wait, ... where the fuck is my taxi? ? And then the last one is probably all caps again, just like all the rest of them, but it's probably you better not have tried to drive my taxi during the storm! !
Yeah, I think Oscar just replies he asks, "Are you home? It is fine."
Yeah, I think he sends back. He's "On my way, can't talk, wife in tow."
Okay. So yeah, I just send him the presumed coordinates where I left it. And
sure. Yeah. So are you gonna drive it to the spaceport and then leave him those coordinates, or are you just gonna leave him the coordinates of the hotel? Because it was in the hotel parking lot. You left it around the back, right, by the staircase in case you had to make a quick getaway. Do you just leave it there, call another cab, and go to the spaceport, or do you drive it to the spaceport, then text Wong "Hey, it's here. Thanks for the ride."
At this point, we don't need to make his life any more difficult.
Sure.
Maybe Oscar tries to call, tries to hail another taxi, and does it come in the next 10 minutes? Are there any available?
Your little Uber pops up, your little spoober pops up, and it says, your driver will arrive in 5 minutes, and then it's got a picture of this clearly Asian guy on it.
Okay, we don't need to make Wong's life any more difficult than it has been.
Sure, yeah. You just be
hey
man, don't worry, we protected it. We left it at the hotel. Everything's fine.
Well, my should we maybe, since we have the taxi, drive this Wong's taxi to Wong's house, and actually give it to him and be thanks for the taxi, I'll see you later, and then get in our taxi and go.
He said he was already en route.
Yeah, and also he's bringing his wife.
We don't want to meet Mrs. Wong.
Okay.
Mrs. Wong is scary bitch.
All right.
Oscar is not convinced that he would survive the encounter, so he wants to get far away.
Sure. Yeah. So yeah, you guys jump in the taxi and.
Before we leave, I think right as we're about to leave, I think Margot would walk over to Chang after seeing the body sweeper. And I think that she would just slide on the table wherever she is, 200 credits, and just say, it's for the repairs. And she just kind of looks sad and walks away.
Yeah, I think that she's probably just dumbfounded, right? She probably just looks at it, and she looks at you, and she just can't speak. And I think probably right before, if you do the look over the shoulder, you can see the tears are just welling up in her eyes because she's thankful. And she gives you very low bow behind the counter, and takes them, and
she probably disappears behind the counter. The bow was so low.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That was what I was describing. Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, no, literally her head disappears behind the counter, and then she comes back up and slips the credits into her little apron hostess thing.
All right. While all this is going on, Jordan, I'm actually going to contact Marietta.
Marietta.
And letting her know that we will be at the ship in approximately 30 minutes to make contact with the parcel for delivery.
Cool, yeah. Are you going to send her a text or are you going to actually call her?
Send her a text.
Okay, yeah, so you send her a text. And I think you get a response, like, fairly quickly. And it's like, it's appropriately. It's like, crazy weather we have here, and then, like, exclamation point. And then she's like, she probably says something along the lines of, like, yeah, it's no problem. My driver was able to make it to the spaceport before the storm hit. He should be ready for you guys to unload. And then it's got the colon and then the capital D, so it's like the open mouth smiley face. And then it's just like, thanks for doing this for us! Exclamation point.
Just texting back, not a problem, with like the winky face emoji,
sure.
And then just carrying.
Sure, winky face emoji. Yep, cool. I don't think you get a response, but yeah, you've sent that away. Cool, awesome. So you guys jump in your other taxi, and I think you guys begin to... Oscar, do you get in the front seat again?
Oscar. Man, I keep hitting the wrong push to talk button. No, I don't. I think Oscar got his fill.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, but like the passenger seat, I should say, because like there's 4 of you.
Oh,
right?
I thought you said in the driver's seat.
In the back.
Yeah, he probably couldn't fold up in the back.
Yeah.
So yeah,
so
he goes to the...
you spindly leg get in there. And like the driver like looks at you like once or twice, and he narrows his eyes, then he looks at the group of you, and he's like, "Oh, foreigners, good. Where do you go now?"
That's my armature, and we're actually going to the spaceport.
Okay, I get to spaceport, and he drives, and he's a much better driver than Wong was. He's trying to miss like the potholes, and he's like being all nice and smiling, and he's like he probably like turns on a radio and asks somebody like what kind of music they listen to, and I'm sure Go-Go speaks up.
Yes.
Go-Go probably doesn't say anything. She just starts pushing buttons on the radio until she finds...
You just like reach up and like tune
lean
the
forward
dial.
Across that. Yeah.
It's straight up just like analog, like tune the radio. The little bar moves back and forth. It's actually a little bit like foreign to you because you're like, what the hell is this shit? And you move it back and forth, and then finally you get a station, and he goes, "Oh, good choice, yes." And you guys ride off into basically the sunset, right? Because it's getting close to that time where
it is.
It's time to go.
Headed northeast, though.
Right. Yeah. In fact, I should.
Well, it's like northeast.
I should have probably moved this over there, but whatever. You guys get it. You guys know where you're at. You've seen the map enough. So yeah, you guys get to the. This is Panlong, right? Yeah. Cool. You guys get from the Chung Ho Hotel over to the spaceport, and you get up there, and there's not that... when I described the spaceport a few weeks ago, there was that crowd of people trying to get, like, in, and relatively no one coming out, and there was, like, quite a few... There was sparse amount of ships at the spaceport. When you get there this time, though, there's no crowd, right? Because obviously everybody was in a secure location, instead of trying to find rides off the planet.
Yeah.
And so you guys get there, and there's no wait, there's no line. You get up, and you see that probably, like, you probably see, like, some of those, like, security officers that are, like, they're, like, opening up, like, the big, like, metal, like, bay doors, right? To, like, open up the gates again. Like, they're just getting around to, like, unsecuring the location. And so, as you guys get up there, there's, like, somebody, like, taking his position at the front gates. So they do the typical, like, customs thing where they're like, hey, how was your stay in New Panlong? And, did you guys find everything you were looking for? And, what was the nature of your stay here in New Panlong? And I'm sure you guys tell him, business or whatever, and he checks all your IDs and stamps them all with his little his little, Furial stamp. And he hands it back to you, and he says, okay, well, hope to see you again. And it's kind of a really weird experience based on your last 24 hours.
Yeah, definitely.
But you guys go in, and I think that you see there is a by your ship. There's a couple of other ships still there. One of them is the same. One of them is a new one. Totally regardless of what's going on. But you see a man standing there, and he looks like a scientist. I mean, he's got the lab coat, and he's got glasses, and his hair's kind of gelled back, and he's on like a data slab, or actually it's probably like a handheld compad, and he's like typing away on it or whatever, and he's not really paying attention. But if you guys approach him, he's standing right outside like the loading dock of your ship.
When Boomer first sees him, he just kind of gets chills, like goosebumps, and shakes his head and just quickly approaches him. He's like, "Hey, sir."
He looks up and he's like, "You are owner of this ship, yes? It's time to load the equipment, the samples that we have to go over to Papos."
Yes. I'm here. I can sign the documents. Just
very well. Yes, good. And he turns his compad around. He spins it around in a little swivel. And you can see he's pulled up a sign here for delivery, etc., etc. So you do that.
Signing all the documents, just making sure that we are sent a copy, so that we can do the delivery and all that.
Yep. And as I said before, there are so you see that the equipment as well, and any of you can go inspect this. There's a couple of dock workers who will actually do the loading or whatever. That's typically pretty normal. And they're arranging these pallets, and you can see there's 4 crates that are set on a pallet. They're pretty big crates. And then there's another pallet that has 4 large kind of plasteel cylinders that are clearly environmentally sealed. All 4 of them. And that's it. That's all the cargo that it has. Very low amount. It's gonna take them 10 seconds to put it on the damn ship. So you guys see all that. And they're kind of just sitting there. They're just one of them's probably smoking a cigarette or whatever, and he's they're clearly chatting, and they're chatting in Cantonese because they're locals. Basically waiting for you guys to get on and unlock the ship and open the cargo bay and let them do their job, etc.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take care of that. Once I sign the documents, usher them in to. It's going to be a very quick, okay, guys, let's load it all up. Okay, you're finished. Now get out.
Yeah, cool. So,
Oscar is just milling about, kind of keeping an eye on things.
Sure. A little bit wary.
Them. He probably doesn't think that these dock workers are going to do much of anything, but after what they just went through,
that's what I mean. Yeah,
totally.
It's not the current situation that's a problem.
Right. He's still totally on high alert after
it's the events leading up to the current situation. That's a problem.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So Gogo, are you the first to bolt onto the ship and?
Oh yeah, I've already been ordering them around in Mandarin for 10 minutes, and they're probably just staring at me.
yeah. They probably look at you and they just point to the cargo bay doors that aren't even open or unlocked yet, and you're just well, do it anyway.
Yeah, it's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, cool. So you guys open up the ship, the loading bay goes down, and I think I've showed this before, but I may not have shown it to anyone else. Let me just bring you guys over here, just so you can see what's going on. So the elevators in each the front and the back of the ship go up and down, right? They go up and down to the ground, and then the loading dock is right here, right here. Or let me do it in green, maybe easier. Yeah, right there. You just open those doors. They slide. They slide one way or the other, or open up, and then the crane arm just comes down and picks stuff up and puts it in the loading dock, wherever it may go. So you guys, jump on the ship, and the first thing I think you probably sense is if you've ever been outside of your house for a very long time. In fact, Matt, you probably experienced this very recently. If you've ever been away from your normal abode for a very long time and go and experience different things and go to different parts of the world or, different locations, and then you come back, there's that, smell of, home, right? Because the ship has been, environmentally sealed from when you guys, locked it up. So there's that, smell of kind of just raw metal and that little bit of dankness from the engine, maybe not idling, but just that general metallic smell, and it's probably a little bit refreshing for the group of you after spending 3 days kind of in the field. So it probably comforts everyone a little bit as they get back onto the ship. So, you guys are on the ship, and you unlock the bay doors, and they load up all the cargo, and, they go.
Once they leave, one of the first things I do is go straight to the infirmary and actually putting all of the skin samples and blood samples into cryo.
Okay, yeah, you you probably get over there, and, you realize, Giorgio is, locked everything, right? Because this is Giorgio's area, right? So
This
you
is
probably
not cool, Giorgio.
Right. Yeah, you probably have to like hack into one of them real quick and open it up and shove your stuff in there and get it sealed. Which is a good point because I think that you guys are you've got everything loaded up, you've had your little powwow, you're like, okay, we're gonna roll out now. And Go-Go, you probably go over and at the communications console on the ship, there was probably maybe 15 or so emails that were addressed to the ship, not to you guys directly, from Giorgio.
I would start to read them chronologically.
Right, yeah. So I think that it's the first couple are in all 15 of the emails, I think that it kind of follows the same pattern. It's hey, this is Giorgio, hope you're still alive. And then the second part of the email is probably here's what's currently going on where I'm at, and he gives you a brief little synopsis of what's going on over on the Shushu Group's side, right? With the earthquake and the disaster relief and all that other stuff. And then the third part is probably I'd really like to know if you guys are okay again, just reiterating hey, if you guys could tell me what's going on your end, that'd be cool. Because he probably didn't expect you guys to be away from the ship, right? Because typically, if you go to a location, you guys still sleep on the ship, right? You don't typically get a hotel room, and it's probably why everything was addressed to the ship. And then, the last part is almost always, can't wait to be home, ... That's, the ending line on almost all of the emails. Basically he's saying, come pick me the fuck up, I'm done with this place.
My ship better be okay, get the fuck over here.
Right, yeah. And by my ship, I mean Westwind ship owned by Westwind Corporation .LLC.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that Margot would send just one email back after deleting all of the other ones that just says something along the lines of hey Big G, everything's fine, you need to just chill, we'll be over there soon. And then I send him a playlist to listen to while he waits.
Sure, yeah. A hard jazz playlist. I love it. Cool. Awesome. So you guys are on the ship. You've essentially been given clearance. But they also said there's probably a countdown timer that you were sent with that says an hour until any ships taking off from Shinabi Alliance space will not be authorized to leave orbit or to enter orbit. It's the countdown for like I said, as I've said multiple times,
the daytime switch.
Yeah, the daytime nighttime switch, right? So you guys essentially have you have to leave now or wait a whole nother day.
Hit it, Go-Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, immediately.
Yeah, so you guys, we get the out of the ship scene with the ship rising up. If you ever played Knights of the Old Republic, you know the scene well. The ship rises up and takes off into orbit. And finally, I think for the first time in about 4 days, you guys get to see the vast expanse of space again. And probably breathe a heavy sigh of relief.
Yes.
Yeah.
Margot's fingers tingle because she's so happy that she's back at her.
Yeah, you get to fly something again, right? Yeah, absolutely.
Go-Go probably didn't even ask anybody if we're ready to leave. She saw the hour time countdown and she just punched it. Everybody else is being thrown around the ship.
Right.
Oh yeah. She didn't even bother with music this time. She was just ready.
Yeah,
she was out.
Boomer, you're probably doing pre-flight inspections because the ship hasn't been active for 4 days, right? So you're probably checking the stabilizers and you're probably crawling through an air duct, making sure all the vents are clear and the filters are all working. And
I made sure the engine grease still was turned back on.
Right. Yeah. And then all of a sudden the ship just starts to take off and you're like, what the fuck? Just flies into space. Yeah, I love it.
somewhere Stanley slams into a wall and scoops.
I forgot about Stanley. Hopefully
Yeah.
he's- hopefully
Have you
he's
checked
all
in with Stanley lately?
Stanley's still alive.
I mean, you tell me. Do I find him?
I think you do, yeah, and it's been like 4 days. I think he's put
Something
on
like
about
that.
another inch. He's getting close to the size of the adult forms, or at least, larger larval forms that you saw, because you guys actually never saw an adult of those creatures. Makes me real
I
sad.
did not.
Like a larval form of, like, he's getting about to the same size of that one you cut in half. His mate or whatever.
And he hasn't chewed through.
It doesn't seem
anything I
he
can
eats any of
see.
the other metal. You do see, though, that your red 5 stores are getting kind of low. You may want to find some more raw resources if you plan on continuing to feed him. Or start training him very quickly in how to eat other things.
Yeah, Oscar would probably, since he can, stabilize himself in space, he probably didn't miss a beat when the ship just took off
Lurched,
without
right.
warning to orbit. So he probably just got right to researching what alternate things they could feed this little guy.
Sure, yeah.
So he's maybe he sees that Stanley has eaten the majority of the little scraps that were left around, because I think we just left him in the storage holder.
Yep, you did, with just the chunk of
The-
red
yeah.
5 that you had left.
Yeah. So he probably reminds him that he hasn't heard from Lucas at all regarding the shield, and it sends him a quick message to get a status report on that.
Yeah, so I think that once you guys do get into space, I think you guys are now able to fully tap into the sector net, because on the Shianabi Alliance side of the planet, it was very limited. Access was very limited to the sector net, for varying reasons, mainly technological barriers, right? That was the primary reason. You guys don't actually have a comm station on your ship, so you cannot bounce a message from your compad to the ship and then beam it into orbit to get to the sector net.
Okay.
Since you guys don't have that technology, you would rely on local sector net beacons, but clearly the Shianabi Alliance doesn't have a whole lot of those, right? And that's probably why you were mostly cut off. And maybe another reason why the messages from Giorgio weren't getting through, because he literally could only address it to the ship. Because that was the only thing technically connected to the sector net. You guys weren't really. But I think that on your point, Oscar, when you do get into space, you probably do have a message from Lucas. And it's probably a video message, actually. So you open it up, I assume?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you open it up, and it's clearly it's one of those moments where you can tell somebody turned on record on a webcam or something, and then walked over to sit down in a chair. So it's you see his chest and his little West Wind Corporation polo that he's wearing with a big W or whatever on it. And he looks into the camera real close, and he's you hear him talk, and he turns over his shoulder, and he's hey, how do you tell if this thing's on? And then you hear muffled sounds, and he's well, I don't know. Does the red light mean on or off? Oh, whatever. We'll record it again if it's messed up. And he places the camera down on a desk, and
Oscar probably just starts shaking his head and wondering why he entrusted this guy to make.
Didn't you roll a 4 or something on that roll?
I can't remember.
I think you rolled low. I think it was under a 6 for sure.
Yeah, I think that was to determine the ease or the cost.
Yeah, I think it was to determine not the quality, but I think it was the competency and amount of time it will take.
Yeah.
You'll get the same quality item no matter what, but it's competency and amount of time to take to actually make it. There may be some trial and error.
He just sits there and shakes his head quietly and watches the video.
Yeah, and Lucas goes and he sits down in a computer chair, and he's hey, Oscar, hope you're getting this message, man. Don't know where you are because I'm not allowed to look in Westwind, organizational files, but I just wanted to let you know your shield's coming along great. Red 5 is really hard, though. It's really like a dense, and he starts to go into some like technical terms that probably go a little bit over your head, like about the density and molecular structure of Red 5. And then he's like, well, but that's okay, man, because we're gonna get it done. If you've been gone, if you get this, I sent this on, and he gives you a date that's actually like a week ago because of the way that things travel. Or no, it's probably like 3 weeks ago, because you guys have been gone for like about that time. So it was essentially he sent the message maybe like a week after you left, because you guys have been gone about a month now, according to the calendar. So he's like, yeah, it's coming along great. Hopefully by the time you get this, we should be almost done with it. And definitely, I think by the time you come back, if you're not back already. And he's like, but I have to tell you, it's light, but you're gonna need to be... I've been doing some research. Listen, so I looked into some, they call the medieval era. I found some really old history references to some shields and stuff that they use. They look pretty awesome. And I know you like to use that big sword that you carry around. So I'm going to design something that kind of looks like that. I hope that's cool, man. Hit me back if you got any suggestions or any requests. But other than that, man, I'll see ya. And he like does like a 2-fingered salute, and he like gets up and he like picks up the camera, and it's like looking up his nose, and he's like talking to himself. He's like, this goddamn thing, I can't. Hey, how do I turn this off? Well, no, I thought the red light meant it was on. Oh, fine, whatever. I'll figure it out. And like the tape like cuts like as if he were like rip it out of the like just rip the data like rip the USB out of the back of the thing or whatever. You know, just like rip the data cable out.
Picks up a hammer.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, and then that's your video message.
I'll shut this thing off for good.
Right, yeah, exactly.
You've met the one person in the entire universe that actually gives you confidence whatever Boomer makes.
Yeah, no kidding.
Hey, this guy helped design your shit, man.
Oh, man. Okay, cool. So
I'm glad there was silence after that.
Yeah, perfect. So if we ever make it back, I can't even recall what hex that was. Where did we originally meet with Lucas?
The Westwind Corporation is located... I'll move everybody back to this because we don't really need the ship again. The Westwind Corporation is located in Sector 3, or I'm sorry, System 308. That's where their headquarters is. And if you look on the little factions tab, you can click on them. Westwind Corporation. Boom! Sector, the Najia system, planet of Sorn.
But we're headed the total opposite direction.
You are headed to your destination as of now with your current cargo, and will be the 306. I'm sorry, 606. Jesus, will be 606.
That's not that bad.
No, you're only going one jump over. 606, which is home to, you guys know now, the Rahani Band. Bases their home in 606, the Papos system, Nafisa system, planet Papos, and you guys are headed there, and you know there's a whole lot of other things going on in the system, but as well, we know that I don't know how much you've shared with the crew. I keep forgetting how much you've shared or not shared with the crew, Fortune, but we do know. We do know that Fortune, as at least an audience or us as players know, that Fortune has a contract on 606.
No, he told all of us.
Yeah, I told him there's a contract on 606.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got two things to do there. In addition, I will remind you if you didn't, I'm sure you did because you're a good player, but if you didn't write it down, it was a alive if possible contract.
Correct.
You know, in the event that taking him alive is impossible, go ahead and kill him. But your contact, who is the leader of the governmental leadership on the planet, wants this man brought in, and they've reached out to the Claris group to handle it, which is totally normal. Like that's your run of the mill mission. And again, as I described it with the Claris group, is basically they'll be like, "Hey guys, here's a mission. First one to complete it gets the payment." go.
Yeah.
like execute. And you guys all just like move in, right?
Precise.
So, you kind of play against each other, but like again, like it's also not unheard of for agents that are in the same system working will contact each other and be like, "Hey, are you here working on this? Let's work together. We'll split the profits. Get it done twice as fast." But as with there's always some selfish people out there.
Absolutely.
Cool.
So, has that been discussed since? Because I
believe there was mention of it
originally-
in the fact that you'll be there anyway, and it would probably be convenient to take care of it. But I don't think there was actually a sit-down discussion about it. You guys can totally have one.
No, that's what I was going to bring up on our flight over. Be like, hey, since we're headed here...
Yeah. So, does Fortune still intend to tackle this on his own, or does he just say, "Hey guys, I'm going to be gone a bit," or?
Yeah, pretty much like as soon as we touch down, I'm going to be like, "Hey, I'll contact you guys when I need you, or if I need you, or I'll see you back on the ship." And I'm gone.
Cool.
My plan, at least.
Yeah, should be fine.
I mean, does anybody do anything else while we're, I know we need to make the navigation check and everything, but does anybody do anything while
Well,
we're
I think that you're gonna wait, right? Just to be clear, you're gonna not go back to Shushu group, and you're just gonna go straight there.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
That seemed to be the consensus.
Yeah. Cool.
That's.
So what did you have in mind, Oscar? If there's nothing else, did you have something in mind to do before the navigation check? Did you want to reach out or have any conversations, or for that case, anyone? Like, before you leave this system, is there anything anyone wants to do?
No. Boomer generally, as soon as he got on the ship, he took of everything he needed to take care of. He got the still back started. He took like 4 or 5 different showers, changed his clothes, and you pretty much see him just randomly around the ship, like always with a cloth wiping off his hands.
So he's a little paranoid about the encounter.
You could definitely infer that, yes.
Yeah, I think. Is there anything like an autoclave or something, like something to sanitize equipment?
For sure, yeah. In the med bay, there would totally be something like that. Yeah, where you can insert equipment, sanitize. Yeah, totally.
Oscar certainly would wind up in there and would take care of his equipment just for the sake of precaution.
Sure.
The armor at least.
Yeah.
Probably.
I think there's probably a scene of everybody kind of doing that, right? Like, there's probably a scene of Go-Go in her room, like with her arm detached, like picking out like pieces of viscera if there's any stuck in there. And like you guys like disinfecting your armor, Fortune cleaning his rifle and his gun in his room or whatever, and Boomer washing his hands obsessively. Yeah, there's totally like a scene of that. You guys, get everything cleaned up.
Yeah, Oscar just goes into the med bay and locks himself in there for like whatever it is, a 45-minute cycle to clean his armor off, and then comes back out squeaky clean.
Exactly. Cool.
It's a bug car wash.
It's a bug wash. Love it. Yeah, you're actually squeaky clean, right? Because when your carapace like moves, it actually squeaks a little bit because that's how clean you are.
Oh no! He doesn't autoclave his own body. He just puts his armor in. I think I don't think he could survive an autoclaving, but
yeah, it would probably just disinfect you as a being.
Yeah, he'd be real clean, but he'd be dead.
Come out mush. Yeah, cool. All right, excellent. Sweet. So, does anybody else anything else they want to do before they depart planet?
Nope.
Cool. Then Go-Go, it's time for you to make those just incredible rolls. Now, I'll remind you how this works again. It's been quite a few weeks since we made a navigation roll. It is simply the navigation roll to make sure you get there based on intelligence. But in addition, we have to remember that it's a charted. Your maps are still within what do you call it? The timeline. Like there's still maps for 3264, so that's good. You're good there. You are only going a single full hex, so it'll only take you, because you have a spike drive 2. It'll take you 3.5 days as opposed to 7, the full 7-day week. So you don't get a -1 for doing 2 hexes. So it will be a difficulty 6, I believe. Correct? Hold on.
For some reason, I think it's 7, but...
No, 7. Yeah, 7, correct. Yep. Making a jump between stars is more difficult. Takes at least a navigation 1 skill, successfully navigation intelligence skill check of difficulty 7. So it is a difficulty 7 roll for you.
And I get +2 because of the nav computers.
You do get +2 because of the nav computer, yes. Whew!
Yeah!
Alright. See what
We alive.
It was a 1 and a 4.
I love how I got 1 and I'm still okay. That's fine.
Hey, I tried to make it really easy for you guys not to get jettisoned into the cosmos of unknownty. Cool. So you guys make it to 606. I'm just going to put your destination back at 506 because you're going back there, I would assume. So you guys jump into the 606, the High Fortune, which is the Nafisa system. There is one inhabited planet here called Papos. So, everybody do me a favor. Make me a culture traveler roll. Everybody on the ship. This is to see how much you know about the planet Papos.
Is this going to be intelligence?
Yes, it is based on intelligence. Cool.
Nope.
So, Oscar, you've probably never been here before with the 5. You probably don't know a whole lot. And I think that 7, 8, and 9 are relatively all in... Oh, no, that's the 8 is for the skill check. I'm sorry. 6, 7, and 9. So, Boomer, I think you are the one to know the most amount of information. So I'll give you the information, and then everybody else basically knows a little bit less than this. So the planet Papos, as we see on the on our sector tab, which I'll pull that up.
By the way, not to interrupt too much, but during this 3-day travel, he's been working on his
yeah, for sure.
Third project.
For sure, absolutely. So the Nafisa planet is it has a thick atmosphere and requires a pressure mass to actually walk outside because it's the atmosphere is too thick to actually breathe. Which you guys all have like what do you call it, the suits on the ship. What are they called? Exosuits?
Correct.
I don't think are they actually just called exosuits though? Yeah.
I mean, there might be. You are the Space Master.
We'll say they're called exosuits. But you guys have
Are we talking about legitimate exosuits, or are we talking about like just basic atmospheric
configuration suits that will let you survive in adverse atmospheres? Yes.
So in this case, it's not that it's toxic, so maybe it's just like a mask.
Yeah, you guys could totally just use the mask. Correct. Yeah, you could just detach the mask from the suit and just wear like the face mask or whatever. Yeah.
So in this case, it's not like we need.
You do not need the training or anything like that. Correct. Yeah, correct. You just require the pressure mask. It is a warm temperature planet. It's kind of like a deserty world. It's very very arid. It has a human miscible biosphere, so it is the creatures and life on it are edible and able to sustain human life. It has millions of inhabitants, so it's fairly populated. It has a tech level 4 with specialties. Now, with a 9, I think you actually get to know what those specialties are, Boomer. So you know that the planet Papos...
Jordan,
yes?
We need access to edit it.
Oh my god. Okay, let me fix that. Papos... let me... Oh, wait. I'm trying to open it with the wrong account. Sector guide. 606. Papos. Edit. All players can edit it. Cool. Awesome. There you go. So, the planet Papos has a specialty. And the specialty is they specialize, surprisingly enough, in exosuits. Because of their planetary makeup, they've had to design essentially suits and masks and, the ability to sustain themselves on planet with minimal interruption to daily activities. So they essentially have the equivalent of where we would use like a regulator in scuba gear. They have basically rebreathers, right? That they can pop in their mouth and they're totally good. Like they can just survive with that. Which is a pretty cool tech, and obviously much sought after by individuals that are off the planet as well, that live in toxic atmospheres, or or Oscar, that live in toxic atmospheres, or like for example, technicians that work out in space a lot. Like they have suits that can essentially just form fit you, right? Instead of having this bulky kind of, these big gloved hands, they can make like skin tight suits where you have almost no loss of motion or mobility in them. In thick atmospheres or toxic atmospheres, or essentially hostile atmospheres that are typically not meant for biological life to survive in. So that's their specialty of the planet. But I think a 9 also gets you, Boomer, and maybe you get this from maybe you're scrolling through like a news article or whatever. Maybe you're doing a bit of research, and I think that you realize very quickly from some of the news articles and stuff that the planet is heavily controlled by the female gender that exists on it. The male gender is heavily discriminated against, and even in some parts of the planet enslaved to the female gender. Yeah, it's an interesting thing, but in these times, that's the way the planet has developed, right? Probably during the Silence at some point, there were most likely more females than males on the planet, and they became the dominant race, or the dominant gender. And so maybe you realize this, maybe in your 3.5 day journey over there. Do you bring that up to the crew at all? Because I think that's something that only the 9 will get you in. The 6 and 7 will not.
No, I don't feel like Boomer working on his project, I just feel like he wouldn't come to mind. He knows it and he's aware of it, but it's one of those things obviously they would know it too. So yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Cool. I like it. Excellent. So you arrive, and again, when you jump into the system, you get that spam mail, a bunch of advertisements and a bunch of things, and general blah 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 blah. And I assume that all 4 of you are in the cockpit when you guys are approaching the planet.
I am.
Or is anybody not in the cockpit as you approach the planet?
I'd be up there.
Okay, cool. No, so the group of you is up there, and you receive a hail from the control, right? And there's you can definitely see there's a couple of space stations kind of scattered throughout the planet. It is a tech level 4 planet, but space station life is not uncommon on a planet that has a thick atmosphere and requires special rebreathers to survive on. Living on a spaceport or a space station is just much more convenient because you don't need to suit up to go outside ever. But yeah, so you guys get hailed by the incoming traffic officer, and who's sitting at the comms console?
I am, probably.
Okay, so you answer the hail?
Yeah.
Cool, yeah, so you click on it's a video message, and video pops up on the comms console screen, and it's a woman, and she's wearing a headset, and it's clearly how she's talking about it, and she's in this kind of dark gray uniform, and she's got this little little hat on, and she's like, this is Papos Control to Apollo class freighter bearing marking, and she repeats your serial number of your ship, and she's like, what is the nature of your business here on Papos? And where can we direct you to?
Delivery for that place. The thing
I'm
we're working
giving Fortune the documents.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
bill of lading.
You have like the bill of lading. You have like a whatever. I'm going to assume that the last bullet point is go-go.
Yeah.
So yeah, you give her like the documentation and like you send over, like you type in like, hey, here's our order number. She's like, very well. Report to docking bay 357-2 located on station 1, and then she like gives you like a little map and it shows you like one of the space stations. And we'll just have to clear customs. And then you'll be free to make your delivery to the planet.
All right.
Cool. And she like ends the communication, and you guys, I'm assuming, Go-Go, you pilot on over there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Yep. You guys dock, and like the refueling thing automatically kind of comes out, and
as soon as we dock, I probably send out a message to the local area for the Claris members.
Sure. Yeah. You hit the ping button, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I've arrived. Is anyone out there? Ping.
Yeah.
Sends out. Yeah. Like I said before too, it may take like especially if they're like undercover, they may never answer. Or it may take like up to 48 hours or so, depending on who's here and what's going on.
Yeah.
Cool. So you guys disembark off the ship, and there's like a couple customs officers, and you see that they're both female. There's one, she's tall, got kind of like short cropped blonde hair, wearing the same kind of dark gray uniform with the hat, and her hat has like an insignia on it, like a rank symbol of some sort. And then the other woman with her is clearly like a lower ranking officer, and she's like carrying like equipment. It looks like identification equipment, just like scan passports and IDs and that kind of shit. And she approaches you, and she walks right up to you, Go-Go, and she extends her hand. She's like, "Welcome to Papos."
Margot loves that she came to her first, and she shakes her hand and says, "Why, thank you."
And she looks at you, Go-Go, and she says, what are you and your crew delivering to Papos today?" And she's addressing you directly, Go-Go.
Oh, at this time, Boomer would kind of take the documents from Fortune and just kind of give them to Go-Go, like, "Here you go, Captain."
Margot has the biggest friggin' smile on her face, and she just says, "Here you go. All the information is right here. Just a small delivery."
Yeah, she like looks it over and she hands it to her assistant, right? And her assistant begins like writing down numbers and like taking the delivery code or wherever. And she looks and she's like, "It's been a while since we've seen a Westwind ship. Is this a freelance mission or are you working directly?"
It's a bit of freelance.
Nothing wrong with that. Making a little extra money. And she kind of like looks at her assistant, and her assistant like looks and gives her like a little nod, like everything's in order, and hands the paperwork back, and she relays it back to you, and she says, "Well, enjoy your stay on Papos, and be sure to stay to the restricted areas."
Will do.
Before she leaves, because for some reason I can't find out where I wrote down any of my information on my contract.
I think it's on your character sheet on your bio first page.
I did not, and if I did, it's not there anymore. Oh wait, yeah, I did. Just kidding. Was Kakachan?
Yeah, Kakachan is the capital of Papos.
Okay. Do I have a contact that's not my target?
Yeah, you had the what you mean, like, are you supposed to meet up with anybody to figure out where Victor Slavsky is?
Or do I have someone that I'm delivering Victor Slavsky to?
Oh, yeah, no, you were supposed to deliver to the governmental agency. I think they gave you a group name. It was probably like the
Kuchera Syndicate?
No.
That's who Victor works for.
Yeah, that's who Victor works for, yeah. Let's see. Let me just pull something off the interwebs. Government agency name. Let's see. It's probably like the Department of... Actually, you know what it is? It's totally the version of the ATF on Papos. So it's probably like the tobacco firearms, or not tobacco. It's probably like controlled substances, firearms, section.
Exosuits.
Yeah, section. Illegal exosuit section of the government.
The CFE.
Yeah, exactly. The CFE. There you go. Boom. There it is. It is not EDF. No, it is not the EDF. It's not the Extraterrestrial Defense Force.
Got it.
Yeah, so you guys are kind of left to your own devices, and like, so essentially they're gonna like refill your ship, and then like you're clear to go, but you have like maybe like 30 minutes on the spaceport to kind of just mill about. And you guys have been given like you have your delivery location, which is not, unfortunately, it's not the capital. You have to go there separately. But let's see. It is most likely, what's the name? It's probably Carsi. Let me put that in the chat. Is probably the name of the city. It's probably Carsi. Is the name of the city that you're going to deliver the Rwanda group, Rahani band. Sorry, I said Rwanda group. I don't know why. The Rahani band equipment and samples.
Do they need their hotel back?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God, let's not.
Exactly. Cool. So do you guys just kind of hang out and wait to leave? You go do anything on the space station? Drink or
no.
something?
Well, I probably don't leave the ship, but from the ship I send a message to the CFE department and say I'm representative from Claris Group. Has his contract been fulfilled?
Sure, yeah. So I think that within like the 30 minutes to an hour that you're waiting there, you get a reply, and it says, it basically is just like a status message, and it says contract unfulfilled.
All right, that's all I needed to know. From them, at least. Yeah.
Yep. So it's still active. You didn't take too long to get here.
Yay.
Congratulations. But I do think you get something else though, Fortune. I think on through your channels, your Claris channels, you see another ping in the system.
Does it have coordinates?
I think like if you open it up, you open up the ping, because you can open it up without like replying to it, because again, the ping is like, hey, I'm here, and then somebody else reaches out to you, right? So you can look at it, and his nickname, he goes by Chains. You've probably never dealt with him directly, but you probably know of his reputation. He's one of the more brutal characters, I think, in the Claris group. He's notorious for, he got his nickname because if you ever bring somebody in, they're wrapped in like old school like iron chains and shackles. Like that's his calling card, right? Like he delivers his prisoners, or even sometimes his dead bodies, wrapped in like these iron shackles and chains. And so that's how his nickname kind of came to be. So you probably never dealt with him directly, but he is like, he's doing the proper procedure. You know, he puts out in the system like, hey, I'm here to fulfill the contract.
Yeah.
And it also means that he will see your ping whenever he, after it goes through all the message boards and gets to him. So he'll also be aware that you're in system as well. So you could choose to reach out to him, or he may reach out to you, or you guys may just say, hey, may the best man win, and, move in on it.
Yeah.
That's up to you.
Okay. I probably won't reach out just yet.
Sure, yeah. You got another mission to complete, and then you'll go take care of that. Or maybe do the same thing. I don't know. It's up to you.
Yeah.
We'll see. So, anybody else do anything, or do you guys just head down to Carsi?
I think knowing the planetary specialty, Oscar would be investigating any local shop that would, or any local like equipment sales place that would be likely to cater to Sriek
Yeah, so I think that you probably are searching through your spam mail, right?
Yeah.
And like, there's an advertisement like, "Hey, are you visiting Papos today? How about stopping by, Ali's Wondrous Emporium for grabbing a portable rebreather equipment? Tired of wearing that bulky face mask all the time? Stopping by Ali's Emporium and we'll hook you right up." And there's just like repeats that message. Maybe a bit touristy, but it might suit your needs depending on how it is.
It might.
But you could also do like actual research. Like you could look through the classifieds, right? Find some other place besides that.
So he'd be looking. Basically, he'd be looking to find somebody who has made like suits for non-human clients before, and like be looking to put a deposit down on something in good faith.
Sure. Let's see. Is there an appropriate skill for this? Because I think I know what I want you to roll, but we'll see. I'm not sure there actually is. I think that I'll give you this. You can roll a computer's check to just like delve through information, right? 'Cause that's what computers is. Or I'll let you make a luck save to see if there's some other thing that you may find that might help you in the situation. It's up to you. So yes, I should reiterate. You regain 1 point for every day that you do not do anything. Every night every quote unquote long rest day that you sleep, you get 1 hit point back. So
right,
yes.
I just want to check.
Yeah, you should be full health by now. And Devin, you did not turn into a werewolf.
Hooray!
Yay! You turned into something else horrible.
Right.
No.
I'm not dead yet.
I'm not
Sure.
dead yet.
Well, I think my odds of passing a computer check are better than
Sure.
luck.
Sure.
So
So roll a computer check to see how well you delve through the information.
what attribute on the computers?
Probably going to be intelligence.
Wait, quick question. Is he going to ask Boomer to help?
I don't know if he is. Now, you can roll it and then be like, I can't figure it out, and then go ask Boomer if you wanted to. That's totally something you can do.
I mean, I as a player have information about something Boomer knows that could make this also convenient, but yeah. So let's say before we leave, Oscar asks Boomer, who is a people person.
Do you bring him like an
go.
ad from the Emporium, Ali's Emporium, like, "Hey, what do you think about this? Would this fit me?"
Maybe I go and I would just like show him all of these shitty emails, and I just say, Boomer, I need better. You see, I'm hoping for better armor, and I can't exactly. And he kind of like waggles his arms a little, and he's like, I can't buy them off the rack. Is that the saying?
No,
I need a custom suit.
I understand. And
then he waves his compad at you, and he's like, "These are garbage. Can you help me?"
You see Boomer just kind of look around for a second and just here. He kind of reaches over and like pulls on like your vest or a piece of your armor to bring you closer to him. As he brings out his personal data slab, and you see he very quickly types in several things. It's like, all right, yes, I'm gonna totally help you find a store that is gonna cater to your needs. And while he's saying this, he's actually bringing up a picture of a Skriak that looks like it was taken on a TL3 kind of security camera. And he just slightly edges it towards you, but he's doing it in such a way so that if any other angle except for the two of you were to try to look at it, it would be the two of you obstructing the view of it. So it's like very close to both of you, kind of tucked into his abdomen and just kind of looking down at it.
So, Jordan, do I recognize, like, is the photo of this individual?
Yeah. So specifically, remember that the photo is not TL3. The photo is very good quality.
Oh,
because it was taken.
blurry.
No. There was some confusion there. The quality of photos that were taken of the werewolf guys was like
The
TL3
monsters were bad.
because it was taken on the Shushu or on the Shinabi Alliance equipment, right? This was taken on some other equipment, and you immediately recognize the because the face is uncovered. You immediately recognize the family markings, and it is indeed of the family that you have history with.
Do I recognize the individual?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I guess this is a question about your race too. So, are Shriek able to tell each other apart without pheromones as far as gender is concerned?
I think it would be easy enough to recognize the individual if I had seen them before.
Sure.
But if I've never encountered this,
Sure.
this
Yeah. If
individual,
you never encountered
then-
and never actually been in contact with them, you wouldn't be able to tell.
yeah,
It
then
looks
other
like-
than the family,
Yeah,
no.
so you can identify the family. The individual also looks young, maybe in the late teens, early 20s.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Cool.
age is something that you can totally tell the difference at a glance.
Yeah, so I say, so this is not new in the sense that I knew someone else was there, but now I have this picture to go off.
Yeah, and the picture
Is that
is.
accurate?
I think that I'll even say goes so far as to say there's probably a timestamp on the picture, and it's probably like 3 months ago.
Interesting. Okay, so I just maybe I like Oscar tries to play it cool, insofar as he is able, and he like gives Boomer a pat on the back and just says, "Could you send this to me?"
And before he finishes asking the question, Boomer's showing him the receipt of items already sent.
Okay.
His compact.
My compad bings before I'm
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, he just says, "Thank you."
Cool.
And
Do you
about that
say-
other thing?
But no, really, can you find me an exosuit?
Yeah, and then he just stands there. And do you remember what he came to you originally for,
No,
or
it-
was this like?
It's one of those things, like, he would have done it since you were right there. He would have done it as he was looking for the exosuit. So it's
Sure.
like he would have pulled up the picture in like one corner of the screen, while in the other corner of the screen he's still looking through
Sure,
the exosuit
yeah.
stuff.
Okay, make me a
Okay.
computer's roll then. I assume that's what you want to do to try and delve through information to find somebody who makes exosuits.
Something on the more military end. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Boom.
So I think that you probably find at some point there's no advertisements for it, but there's probably like in some obscure reference, like on the Yelp of the planet, whatever Yelp is on this planet, whatever it's called.
You mean spelt?
Yeah, there's probably a review for a shop that says, "Oh, I wouldn't go back here. I had to get one specially made, and they wouldn't do it. But I did find this place," and it gives you like the name of a place and like it's located over here, and it's in the capital city.
So we actually find like
Yeah,
in
but
the-
if you
in
try
the
and
depths
search-
of a bunch of shitty reviews.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Cool.
But if you were to like try and find the if you search the address, it looks like a typical office building. Doesn't look like anything. It doesn't look like a shop. It doesn't look like a store. It doesn't look like anything like that. If you search the address and go to like the Google Maps version, right, like Street View, again, you don't see anything
Google
that
Maps.
yeah, Spoogle Maps. You don't see anything that would reflect the fact that this is a custom exosuit location. It's also probably kind of in like a it probably looks like it's kind of like down like an alleyway, like in like an office, like a typical business complex or something. like around back or like in one of the tiny little facade areas of the business complex.
Excellent. So, yeah, I guess Oscar would just thank Boomer again and maybe state that's where he was going to spend his afternoon. You know, because maybe I'll backtrack on that. What does this delivery involve? Like, do we have to bring this specifically to?
What I'm imagining is that Boomer is going to bring the items to Spaceport XYZ, make contact with the Rouhani contact, who is just going to pick it up and is going to sell it.
You guys are to deliver it to the Rouhani HQ and then receive payment upon delivery. That's really it.
Would Oscar have time during the refueling right now to go like run, skip, jump, teleport over to this place?
No, because you're going to a completely different city while the Rouhani Band HQ is not in the capital city.
Okay, so this is...
We have we have to go to the capital city anyways.
For his thing.
And it may be a couple of days, so...
Right.
How far away are the two cities from each other?
I mean, they're probably within like a couple hours on the ship flight, which could be anywhere from, a few hundred miles to, halfway across the planet, depending on if you go with or against the curvature, the axis spin of the planet. Too technical, but it's not walking distance between the two cities.
I got you.
Let me just. You can't. If you grab a taxi, it's going to be real expensive. It's like trying to take a taxi from.
That was my question.
Where I live to where.
Yeah, I'm not wanting to take a taxi from like Orlando to Atlanta. That's not. No. You can probably jump on like a high speed train or something and get over there, sure. But it's not. It's not convenient to do the two things, I think, simultaneously.
Sure.
But
then he just makes a note of that for later.
Yeah, when Fortune's like, hey, I gotta go, and he leaves the three of you, you could be like, hey, let's go get my exosuit while he's doing that. That's totally something that's possible.
Yeah, that's all I was trying to get at.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you will have an opportunity to go to this place at some point. But my question is, you guys want to take a little break? We've been going for about 2 hours.
Sure.
Okay. Sure. Let's make it a quick one. Let's make it like 5-ish minutes. Be back at like 7:18, 7:20 Eastern Standard.
Okay. Alrighty.
Cool. Awesome. I'm gonna meet you guys. Okay, Shreen. We're gonna take a quick little break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Bye. I'm gonna turn on some music.